everyone! Today I'm going to share with you a little, well, semi-large book haul that I have for you. Now this does not include all of the books that I got for my birthday, which there are a few. So that'll be a different video coming up, but I do have quite a few books that I wanted to share with you here. Very exciting. First of all, I am very pleased to say that I am partnering up with Book of the Month again. So if you don't know, Book of the Month is a subscription-based book service where you can sign up and you'll be sent books. You get to choose, of course, which book selections you want. They're all hardcover books. They're all very, very beautiful new releases. It is sadly still only in the US. And so my Canadian people, I hear you. I am also hoping that Book of the Month will come here because it's so much fun to see what they select. There are bloggers out there who will guess at what they think the book selections are going to be. And they're always really nicely rounded. There's often thrillers, of course, but there's sometimes contemporary and literary fiction and romance. Not that I enjoy the romance ones, but you know what I mean? There's really something for everybody, and you can skip a month if you don't like any of the selections. It's just a really great little book service that I personally enjoy. So before we dive into the books that I'm excited about from Book of the Month for May, I did want to share with you, I've got a little promo code for you. You can get your first book for $9.99 if you use the code GOMAY. Okay, so they sent me like 7 books. I'm not going to share all 7 with you, but I have 3 that just appealed to me. The first one, I kind of had an moment when it came out of the box because I didn't know what to expect. And this is The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. I cannot wait to read this. So first of all, I will say that you guys know that I really enjoy Simone St. James. If you didn't know, now you know. And I follow her on all of the social medias. And she recently was saying that if you want to read any book that is in any way like my writing, if you like me, you should read this book. Very exciting. It's meant to be Rebecca meets Mexican Gothic. Now, I didn't enjoy Mexican Gothic. I know that I'm the only person on earth who didn't, but I didn't. But I love Rebecca, and this is a ghost story that sounds incredible. It is set in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence in a remote house, and there is a haunting. So we follow Beatrice. Her father is killed during the overthrow of the Mexican government, and a man proposes, and she knows that he was once married to a woman who I believe passed away, but she doesn't let that stop her from marrying him. She wants to have a home again, and so she says yes, and they move together to his home called the Hacienda San Isidro, but it's not a sanctuary in the end. She starts seeing things in her dreams, and I believe also in her waking life. It sounds really creepy and right up my alley. When summer comes, I move from, you know, my normal reading to horror, and you will see that big time with my birthday book haul, which will be coming up. I just want to read a lot of very scary things. So I can't wait. I'm going to read that this summer. Okay. I'm so excited about this book. Will it be a 5-star? First line, let's find out. Hacienda. It sounds so creepy. Okay. Andres, Hacienda San Isidro, November 1823. Okay. The low sweep of the southern horizon was a perfect line, unmarred by even the smudge of horses tossing their heads in the distance. Whoa, I can see everything in that line. I can visually see it. Like, this is going to be atmospheric. I would say that's more a 4-star line just because It doesn't have that hook that pulls you in, and that's for me what gives it a 5-star, but very atmospheric. I'm so excited to read that this summer. The next book that is coming out in May for Book of the Month is Breathless by Amy McCullough. This sounds really interesting. It is very much a thriller, and it follows a journalist named Cecily Wong. She has decided to drop everything in her life for a big story. She is going to meet a very well-renowned mountain climber. He is climbing the 8th highest peak in the world. And so unfortunately for her, this is not going well, this whole expedition. One of the climbers dies in what everyone believes is a freak accident. No, it is not a freak accident. Someone has been murdering the mountain climbers. Another person dies, and it becomes very clear that one of the team is a murderer on a mountain in the middle of nowhere. You cannot get away from this person. I don't even want to imagine. I'm already slightly terrified of heights, so I feel like this is just coupling on multiple worries that I would have. I wouldn't do well in this situation. I would just be like, leave me here. I'll make a little nook for myself. So Breathless sounds good. I think I might read this in the winter because it's got that snowy vibe for me. So thrillers don't always, come equipped with a 5-star first line, but let's see what Breathless has in store for us. It might surprise us, You never know. Okay, here's the prologue. Summit day. Breathe, Cecily. Absolutely not. Not a 5-star first line. Last but not least for the Book of the Month selections is something that is surprisingly interesting to me. This is Darling Girl, a novel of Peter Pan by Liz Michalewski. I usually don't like fairy tale retellings all that much, but there's something about this storyline that just seems interesting. This follows the granddaughter of Wendy Darling. We meet Holly Darling. Holly receives a very terrifying phone call that her daughter, Eden, who's been in a coma for months, maybe even years, has gone missing from the estate where she's been tucked away for a very long time. It's actually been 10 years. And she knows who's responsible for it, and it's Peter Pan, who is not this innocent, jovial, wonderful creature person that we've all imagined in our minds. He's actually quite terrifying, and she needs to get her daughter back in some way. And that just sounds like a fun spin on the Peter Pan tale. So I would love to read this. Okay, let's read the first line of Darling Girl and see if it is going to give us a 5-star first line. Prologue. In a very tall tree sits a girl. No, it's not a 5-star first line, but this cover is so stunning. So anyway, if any of those books sound interesting to you, head over to Book of the Month and use the promo code GOMAY to get your first book for like $10. Amazing. Okay, the rest of the haul is all me, me having absolutely no self-restraint whatsoever and just buying books because I can. And so I did. The next book is Beasts of a Little Land by Jua Kim. Now, I heard about this from Russell over at Ink and Paper blog. This was one of his best books of 2021, and I trust him so much. It's historical fiction. I'm actually going to read the blurb to you. I never do that, but I think you'll understand why as I read it. In 1917, deep in the snowy mountains of occupied Korea, an impoverished local hunter on the brink of starvation saves a young Japanese officer from an attacking tiger. In an instant, their fates are connected. In the aftermath, a young girl named Jade is sold by her family to Madame Silver's courtesan school, an act of desperation that will cement her place in the lowest social status when she befriends an orphan boy named Young Ho, who scrapes together a living begging on the streets of Seoul. They form a deep friendship. As they come of age, Young-ho is swept up in the revolutionary fight for independence, and Jade becomes a sought-after performer with a new romantic prospect of noble birth. Soon Jade must decide whether she will risk everything for the one who would do the same for her. It sounds so good. It sounds so good. I'm really hoping that I'll like it. I went to Chapters with my mama one day, took the day off. We went to Chapters. It was wonderful. And this was the last copy. I knew I wanted this book. It was the last copy. It was like fate. So Beasts of a Little Land. I am hopeful that Beasts of a Little Land is going to give us a 5-star first line. Let's see. The Hunter, 1917. The sky was white and the earth was black, like at the beginning of time before the first sunrise. That's not a 5-star for me. It's just not. Next up, I've got a classic that I have been meaning to read for many, many years. This is 9 Coaches Waiting by Mary Stewart. This is about a woman named Linda. She is a lonely woman and she understands the concept of loneliness. Her parents died when she was quite young and she lived in an orphanage as a child. Now she is hired by a governess to an orphaned young boy named Philip. And she really connects with this boy. But the uncle is someone who is mean-spirited and might even be willing to kill this young boy to make sure that Philip never inherits his wealth. Terrifying! I've just always wanted to read Mary Stewart. I don't know, have you guys read her? Have you read 9 Coaches Waiting or something else by her? I feel like it's time to read it. Will the classic give us a 5-star first line? Let's find out. Let's find out. Okay. I was thankful that nobody was there to meet me at the airport. Not a 5-star first line. The classic disappointed in the 5-star world. Next is a cozy mystery. This is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Now, I believe this is a series. I think there are so far 2 in the series out, and this is the first. And it follows 4 seniors. They live in a retirement village, and they have joined together to create a little society called the Thursday Murder Club, where they get together to solve crimes. And when a local developer is found dead with a strange, mysterious photograph left by his body, they rally together and try to find out what happened to this man. And then it sounds like the bodies start piling up. It sounds like a lot of fun. I've heard really good things about this series, and I love the idea of a cozy mystery. I love the idea of these seniors getting together for the greater good, you know? It is time to read the first line of the Thursday Murder Club. Okay, Joyce. Well, let's start with Elizabeth, shall we? Not a 5-star first line. It's just not. Next is Bluebird by Attica Locke. This is also the start of a series, and it follows Darren Matthews, a Black Texas Ranger. And he is called to 2 crime scenes that seem unrelated. There are 2 murders on Highway 59. There's a murder of a Black lawyer from Chicago and a local white woman. They seem like they're not connected, but it turns out that they might be connected, and he needs to discover what happened to these people and why they were murdered. And I've just heard really good things about this series. I'm always looking for a new series that I might love to just like sink my teeth into. I'm already into the Tana French series. Like, it just feels good. It feels good. All right, let's read the first line of Bluebird. Texas, 2016. Geneva Sweet ran an orange extension cord past Maeva Greenwood, beloved wife and mother. May she rest with her heavenly Father. No, not a 5-star first line for me. Last but not least is a rather beat up copy of Tender is the Flesh. It's not looking its finest. Like, it's got staining on it. However, I've just heard good things about this book, and so I picked it up anyway. This is going to be a tough one, I think. It is a horror book about a time in which it is poisonous to eat the meat of animals. And so we are now living in a world in which we eat humans. That's gross. But this follows a worker at a local processing plant of one of those human processing plant places. And our main character is given the opportunity to have a live specimen of his own. And little by little, he starts treating her like a human being. And it sounds really upsetting. Like, I'm already a vegetarian, well, pescatarian. I can only imagine what this is going to do to me. Anyway, I'm hoping to read this at some point. I'm slightly terrified of this. If any of you have read this, should I be absolutely terrified of picking this up? Because that's how I'm feeling. Like, this, I'm worried is going to sit on my shelves for a while because I'm just like daunted by it. All right, let's read the first line of Tender is the Flesh. Carcass. Oh God. Yeah, that's a good first line. Straight to the point. Probably 5 stars. Straight to the point. Terrifying. Those are all of the books that I wanted to chat with you about today. Let me know in the comments below if you have bought anything lately that you are super excited about. I would love to know, and I will talk to you very soon. Goodbye.